Yeah. Uh, I don't even have anything to say about what happened to the last run. I I had a perfectly no d6. No, this is I'm still getting unlocks. I'm starting a new file. I saw well, I just gotten Dead God, and then I saw Forrest start his new file. Yeah, New Year, no, new file. Exactly. I saw Forrest start playing Isaac and do the new file and some of the challenges, and I was like, you know what? Actually, I kind of want to do that too. It's been such a long time since I've actually pursued unlocks like that. Because like I'd taken a huge break because Tainted Lost is a nightmare character. I'm just walking into every hit possible. So I'd taken a break, and then they nerfed and then fixed, and then like they actually fixed things a little bit. So I felt better about coming back to it. And then I got Dead God, and then I was like, oh, cool. Because I just been when I played prior to doing my Tainted Lost unlocks, I'd just done Isaac D6 runs because that's like one of the better ways to play the game. Tainted Lost sucks. Yes. Tainted Lost, I the two things that I'd had left were Delirium and the alt path mom fight. And Delirium, I'm so glad that they fixed whatever they did to make Delirium a little bit more tolerable. Because it still sucks, but it is not nearly as bad. You're not getting telefrag nearly as much. Actually, I think one of my runs forever ago that made me rage quit was I got to the Delirium floor and then what is it? The Lamb, the Dark Path. Am I gonna take Bumbo? Yeah, sure, we'll take Bumbo. Anyways, my I got to the Delirium floor. I went into one of the boss fights and fought the Lamb, and it just dashed at me so fast I had no reaction time. And I was just like, you know what? This sucks. Frick this. I'm going to come back to this when I'm less tilted. And then within the week, I think I got the unlock. So thanks for stopping by, Yelnats. I hope you have a good rest of your evening, and I hope that you enjoy the new year. Thanks for stopping by again. What was I saying? It's so much unlocks, so many, so many different unlocks, and it's nice to feel like I'm accomplishing something with Isaac again. Because like I have enough meta knowledge. I have like 1,100 hours in the game, almost 1,200 now, which is way less than a certain bald YouTuber. That's for sure. Uh, way less hours than him. So my flow state was not nearly as cohesive as his because a lot of what oh yeah Bumbo, you know what Bumbo have coin. I need to make sure to give him his coinage. Toss a coin to your Bumbo or whatever. Do people still care about The Witcher, or at least the show? Because I know Henry Cavill left and people were like, what are you guys doing that you're having like the reason to watch the show, leave. What am I doing? Yeah, Cavill, I like his chops. I think he's got some great acting chops, to be perfectly honest. Let's reach 100. Or upgrade level 2. Yeah, I think Henry Cavill's got chops. I think he's a good actor, and he seems like a nice enough guy. I know that he plays Warhammer and like builds PCs and that kind of stuff, and so, you know, nerd culture. Big Witcher fan. Isn't his biggest project now working on getting like a 40K thing going? Or any kind of Warhammer thing? I think Warhammer Fantasy might be more approachable generally. Because, like, it's still kind of, I don't know. I feel like the fantasy genre is more approachable generally. But I think that may be my fantasy bias creeping in. I'm just a huge fantasy nut. I've been reading a lot of the Dresden Files. I think I've read like 3 of the books recently. I will take Little Horn. That is a good enough item. Death's List. Okay. What am I gonna get here? Yeah, Tears Up. Bumbo. Big Bumbo. Yes. I think that Warhammer Fantasy or Fantasy, no. Okay. Realigning. I think that my fantasy bias definitely creeps in with a lot of stuff. Like, I grew up reading a lot more fantasy than sci-fi because I was one of those kids that was like, I like dragon or whatever. And I've been reading a lot of the Dresden Files. I've gotten to the most recent book. Is that a luck up? No. Bumbo, you can have your coin back. I've gotten to Battlegrounds because I just finished Peace Talks after a couple of years of not reading the Dresden Files because my former roommate and still good friend bought pretty much all of the books at that time, like the whole set, and I just would pick through after he finished reading them because they're good, like popcorn reading, good pulpy noir fantasy, just easy reading, and I really love a good easy read fantasy. And Dresden is a fun character. I think it's good to have a character that's that you know has their flaws, but you still hope for the best for them and kind of like expect that they're gonna do the right thing, even if it is like pulling teeth sometimes. Anyways, I finished reading Peace Talks and I'm excited to read Battlegrounds. I've been going to the library a lot as my way to get my reading fix in. I'm just taking hits left, right, and center here. I went through 2 Spirit Arts in just this room. I can tell that I'm starting to get on tilt. I think this will be the last round of the night. Unless I lose. And then and then we'll see. Depends on how spectacularly we die. Yes, I've been going to the library, and that's how I've been getting my fantasy fix in. Because I don't want to be buying a ton of books right now. If I had like a more permanent place to live, I would definitely... Well, I have a permanent place to live. I'm renting a place, but like, I don't know when I'm gonna move. I don't know. So I'm trying to get my reading fix without having to buy just a god awful amount of books. And the library is a great place to do it. Go to your local library. Having fun isn't hard when you have a library card. But yes, I've caught up for the most part on Dresden. And Jim Butcher, the author of Dresden, the Dresden Files, and also other things, but that's the series that I know him from. His son actually has a fantasy series as well, called the, I think, Unorthodox Chronicles. It's like the way that it reads is very much like if Harry Potter was written by a competent adult that didn't want to like expand too far in the magical world just because he wanted to try and leave some things to the imagination, but is like definitely going to write more about like the magic system that he has developed. And I find it to be very fun. I just finished Dead Man's Hand. It's a good flip through. I think it's kind of like buddy cop noir, which is something that Dresden is missing for sure. I mean, I'm a fan of buddy cop. The genre itself is kind of intriguing to me. I'm not the biggest fan of you know what? Let's keep donating too. Where am I going with this? I'm not the biggest fan of a lot of police stuff generally, just because I find that it is not easy to be super sympathetic to a lot of the characters in those sorts of genres. I find a lot of them to be insufferable. But I like the Unorthodox Chronicles. I feel like Grimsby is a fun character, and I really like that we get a little bit of a perspective shift between the two buddy cop characters. Mayflower and Grimsby are two. It sort of subverts the typical tropes, I find. And I think that's a good thing. Well, not really. It, like, grizzled old veteran that learns to, like, see things with a new eye. These are all tropes as old as time. But I feel like it's done well. One of the biggest buddy cop... Ooh, another ghost head opportunity. Another buddy cop noir type deal that I think is done well. Well, we'll say in spite of David Cage, and if you know David Cage, you're gonna know what I'm gonna be talking about. Detroit Become Human, like the best part of that game is Connor and Hank, is I think the detective's name. Like the learning to have respect for each other kind of deal. Like I'm a sucker for that kind of thing. I'm a sucker for that kind of telling. And I the entire time I just envisioned Mayflower as just Hank from Detroit Become Human. I should probably... That would be a good stream game, I think. Because I know the general premise, but I do not remember, like pretty much any specific of it. Mostly because I try and delete anything that David Cage has ever done from my brain. I don't think I'm gonna take Tammy's head this time. I should pick it up to make sure that it doesn't come back, but I don't think we have the damage to make that really do anything. But yes, the buddy cop genre. I haven't really partaken too much in what's typically done in that genre. I just find a lot of it to be kind of boring. Well, not boring, but done poorly. I'm interested in character dynamics that make me go, huh, yeah, I could see those people in real life. And so oftentimes seeing like the traumatized sort of the traumatized grizzled veteran is intriguing to me. I know I'm going back and forth a lot between like I don't like it, it's bad, but here are the tropes that I do like from it. I like seeing the human elements. I really enjoy seeing people like well-written characters are always what I'm after. I want to encounter characters in my media that I think, oh, how would I feel if this was a real person? What kind of... What could I expect from them? Just taking silly damage. What kind of, I just like thinking, what makes this person tick? And why? What made this person the way that they are? Those are the tropes that I enjoy. Not tropes. That's what I want from my media. I want human stories about flawed characters. I want human stories about flawed characters, and I want to be able to just imagine how they became the way that they were or are, and how they're going to change, and what I would want. Well, what would I expect from them if I knew them as a real person? Would I go, could I be friends with this person in any capacity? Oftentimes, no. But that's because I'm very critical and I'm trying to work on that. Being overly critical doesn't really make you many friends. It's what's the term that I'm looking for here? I really like the whole... I don't think I'm gonna be taking... I might take Guppy's Paw, actually. I don't have any other Guppy items, but it's early enough that I could take a Guppy item. I'll pay the 1 heart Guppy tax right now. Give me one moment. I gotta rehydrate and check what my spouse is saying. My spouse calling me out for saying I love knowing how people tick and talking about one of their coworkers. Okay. Hydration. I've been yapping. Okay. Water required. Anyways, I love seeing how people tick. Like I was talking about with Forest, I love asking questions and just like people don't need to. I don't need people to ask questions about me because I've received not received I've reached this point where I'm like I'm pretty comfortable in who I am, and I don't need the validation of other people in order to get further in that. I don't need the validation of others in order to reach for my goals and my dreams. Because that's what I am doing at this point. It's just I'm trying to I'm trying to reach what I can. I'm trying to set achievable goals and follow through and learn more about myself and do what I want to do in my life. Like I said about in one of these last episodes, I want to become an entertainer. I want to try and bring more of those stories that I want to life. I want to make people laugh and bring a little bit of joy into this silly world. This silly, wide and wacky world. I don't think I can take. No, that's. No. I'll have the option later if I feel like I can, but I don't think I have. Well, that might give me enough runway for it, actually. I need to. I need to get another win tonight. We've had what, 2 deaths? I'm not playing on the top of my game here. But yeah, I want to bring laughs, entertainment, stories to this world, and the best way to do that is just go for it. If you don't go for it, this might actually give us exactly enough runway to do what I'm hoping. I would like to take that flying item, and with uh, Pupula Duplex, we might be able to make a Lord of the Flies, Lord of the Fallen, Lord of the Fallen. Make a cheeky Lord of the Fallen pickup. Speaking of cheeky, I'm so curious about like mushy peas. I really want to make some mushy peas for myself and see what the hate is about. Because like if you, I can imagine if you season that with like a little bit of chili pepper or something, like anything to make it pop, bring the flavor out. Really? Oh, you know what? Actually, kind of a better deal for me in the long run. Especially if I can get some spirit hearts from this. There we go. Half paid for itself. Um, what? Free apple? Hell yeah. What was I saying? I just want to make people's days brighter. That's what I wanted from trying to pursue therapy. Like I have a BA in psychology. That doesn't mean anything. It means that I could achieve a bachelor's degree. That's all that it means. Which is like, sure. I paid a lot of money for a piece of paper that means that I can get employed in jobs that I may not have otherwise been in consideration for. But my resume sucks, so who cares? I'm just trying to make experiences and like get experience with what I want in life. And in order to do that, you got to do it. You just got to throw yourself into it. I don't need the bombs nearly as much. I think I do want Spider, but just a little bit more damage on the run. What was I saying? Again, my threads have come unraveled. I have a bunch laying in front of me. Uh, talked about Christmas. New Year's plans? Yeah, what do I want for my new year? I This is a crazy pie in the sky expectation to set right out the gate. But I think I want to try and do like a 365-day streaming streak. Like, even if my timing isn't as consistent, if I can try and get like even 2 hours of stream done every day, I think there's growth potential. And also like just saying that I did it and that I can do it and that I'm dedicating myself to this enough to pursue it in this way. I think that might mean something. It's building up the muscle. Building up the character to continue to pursue things that I want to pursue. So I've really had a hard time with that previously. I'm more typically a quitter. I've been a quitter for a lot of my life, to be perfectly honest. I've spent a lot of it saying, I don't I don't care about this enough to keep pursuing it. I mean, we got Bumbo to max. We don't need to keep getting him coins. And Dark Souls, I think, was my first experience in, like, well, I think between Isaac and Dark Souls, I set myself up to be more than a quitter. Because these are games that they're hard. They're not, they are not the easiest of games to just pursue. If you don't, I'd previously been very much somebody that first sign of struggle. Well, not really, actually. If I think back on my gaming experiences, I've discussed this before, but the first time I beat Knights of the Old Republic, KOTOR was probably like one of my foundational video games. Because other than that, I probably would have been. That game is what made me go, oh, I like RPG games. I like role-playing games. I did not understand the system of that game. Modified 3.5. I think I played that game at like, I want to say 8. So I'm too young for the old heads, but I'm too old for the young heads in regards to that kind of stuff. Anyways, that is such a good room for us. That will make fighting Mom way easier. Anyways, the way that I beat that game is I just kind of like flubbed my way into achieving everything that I did there. Because I did not understand the system. I think I used all of my feats on like I think I used all my feats on like the different attack types. So every turn I would rotate through like critical strike, flurry strike, and whatever. The power attack. And that was let me tell you, that does not get you results, especially if you waste all of your feats on upgrading them. I think that may have also been what inspired my love of human fighters. Because getting feats was like what I loved about playing that game. We don't need. We already have. We had a Spirit of the Night at home. No need to pursue that further. Anyways, I flubbed my way into the final boss of. Oh, that is a great teleport. I flubbed my way into the final boss of KOTOR, and I think I did the same thing with KOTOR 2, although maybe a little bit more comprehensively. Ever so slightly more comprehensively, because I was a little older and I would actually read. I would actually read the stuff that it would throw in front of me, rather than just be like, none of this makes sense. I'm just gonna do what I want to do. Ow. I don't think I can take that. I think I have to have enough HP to guarantee that I can win against Bomb. Okay, so I went into the final boss fight of KOTOR 1 with just an absolute ton of thermal detonators. I have told this story before, by the way. Just a ton of thermal detonators, and I managed to find a belt that made it so that I didn't take any damage against the final boss. So I would spend every turn getting hit, going up against the boss, getting hit, throwing a thermal detonator, pausing the game, using a healing pack. I need to stop taking hits. This is... Please. I just wasted like 6 hearts worth of HP on that room. Anyways, each turn, throw a thermal detonator, get hit, get knocked down, pause the game, go and... Oh, good. Go into the pause menu, heal with the med kit. Please. Lock in. Lock in. So go into every turn. I'm going to end up repeating myself like 6 times here. I'd go into every single turn, get hit. Get hit, almost die, use the med kit, throw thermal detonator. Do that every single turn until I beat Malik. And that was how I beat the game. My characters sucked at everything. Holy. They were the worst made RPG character of all time, I think. Virgione, thanks for the follow, by the way. Much appreciated. I think that is going to be my last run of the day.